There's a YouTube show full of fun facts you need to know. Carl rings the bell and the members show to the GMP morning show. Featured guests will come and they will blow your mind. The audience will do so in kind. The little vanity mixed with some insanity on the morning show with GMP. Hey, Gumpers.
Hola, bon dia, alegria. Munson here with the Good Morning Portugal show, live stream and podcast. Calma, tranquilo, Carl. It's Feelgood Friday. Let's take it easy, shall we, as we work our way towards the weekend and wish you a bon fin de semana.
It's that Feelgood Friday. Feelgood Friday.
Oh, yeah.
Feelgood Friday. The GMP.
Oh.
Feelgood Friday.
Rewind.
The
Selector.
GMP.
Oh, I think it just loops at the end there. Fantastic. Owen, thank you so much. New jingles to come. I knew I had that somewhere.
It's that Feelgood Friday.
Yes, I feel good Friday. How are you feeling this Friday morning? It's been a busy week. I think it's caught up with me a bit. A little bit of a struggle to get out of bed this morning, but that was 7 minutes ago, and all is well. No, only kidding. Hazel's here. Not seen Hazel before. With a hello, interesting communications. A hello from you, Hazel, and then a Miso Po. I'm not sure. Oh, an MLSO Po. Not sure what that means. Anyway, a mega love shout out to all. Loving that, Hazel. Right back at you, igualmente. Thank you for joining us. What brings you here this morning? I'm sure Antonio F. and James will look after you as the guardians of our community, as the monitors. Don't be afraid. Okay, Coach Turner was in at 7:46, and there's a God Squad tip of the day, the last of the week, and the last mention of squats and knees for a while. Head, shoulder squats and knees. Deagle's in as well, was in at 8:04 this morning. Let's have a look. What's Deagle's weather forecast for Belfast? Oh, good night last night, by the way. The step-by-step guide to renting with Ivana from Casa Portuguesa was very, very good. And the Dream Team session was very good too. Finding out about how Portuguese people prepare for an earthquake. Well, they don't. I might take a clip out of the Dream Team and share it with you. But Gilda was hilarious, as ever, as she often is, last night with her. I think humor was the main preparation for Portuguese people when it comes to the earthquake. Now, I need to come back to something that Gilda said about losing your residency card as well. Should you ever be in the unfortunate situation to do that? She had some very good advice. Come back to that in just a moment. Bon dia, Carl. Oh, and thanks, Pam. Thank you, Pam, for your... there's an Owen audio as well that's just come in. What amazing synchronicity. I'll play that in just a moment as well. Cheers, Owen. Yes, where were we? Bon dia, Carl and Gumpers, from a cool but will be a beautiful day in Belfast. 10 degrees at 8 a.m. And it will be rising up to 19 and by high, 19 by high, Sunday 1 p.m. Okay, well, let's assume that the weather's going to just get better and better in Belfast. Unreal weather till Wednesday. Belfast puts on its colours this weekend. Okay, there you go. Thank you very much, Deagle. And episode 12 of the old guy in Europe, the OG in Europe. Bon dia, Gumpers. Feliz sexta a todos. Okay, aqui tem feito from James there. And episode 12 is entitled, which I think this would make a very good title for his autobiography as well. Although maybe I'm going to claim it. Love, Beer, and Revolution is now showing on a screen near you. So if you want to take a look at that, search out an old guy in Europe, and you can see James's 12th outing. The weeks are flying by. Good morning, Nunu. It looks like you're having a fabulous time from the photographs that and videos you're sending me. Just want to say a hi to all of you. Hi, Nunu, and enjoy your life in Portugal and take care. Fica bem is Nunu's message to us. Have a great weekend, Nunu, and clearly, James, very pleased to see you as well. And he as well. Antonio's in, and Jackie, good to see you. Sorry I didn't acknowledge you last night on the Dream Team session, Jackie. I think you snuck in just at the end there. You must have been packing chocolate and getting ready for your first flight out here to Portugal. How's it feeling? Give the like button a Friday feel. Who does like a Friday feel first thing in the morning? Always seek permission. And watching from the Philippines. And that's what Hazel's doing. Okay, great to have you here. A 4-heart review from Hazel. Good morning. Excellent. Lovely to see you. And Frank Nibley too. Lots of lovely folks we haven't seen for a little while. Frank, how you doing? Where you been? Happy Friday, everyone. Thanks to Nuna for your help last week. Love it. Passing on messages of that kind. The Gumper community working together and supporting each other and helping each other out. This is Feel Good Friday. Tell us what's lovely about your life in Portugal. Or if you're not here yet, and you're going to be visiting again soon, Nubianet, with a bon dia, you'll tell us what you love about being here when you are here, or what you anticipate loving here in Portugal on Feel Good Friday. We're going to be visiting minola.co.uk. What? Yeah, better known on Monday as Quinta dos Tres Rios. I actually might play that little video for you a little bit later on today, because that's a good Feel Good Friday sort of moment to have. And Hugh from there, who we broadcast from Quinta dos Tres Rios back in May of this year, and we'll be chatting because it's the first Monday of the month on Monday, which will be the 2nd of September into September by the time we start broadcasting next week. Hugh will be talking to us about his experience. It's a Meet the Maker special. See what I did there? And he'll be talking about his winemaking experience. It's a fabulous place. I think we're going to return there soon. But in the meantime, we'll chat with Hugh before the session on Monday evening, which will be backyard bottles. Okay, so that's the theme of the wine club, backyard bottles. So if you've got a wine on your doorstep, metaphorically speaking, even better if it's an actual bottle of wine on your doorstep that a friendly Portuguese neighbor has put there for you. That's our theme. 8 o'clock on Monday, 2nd of September, with the GMP Wine Ninjas. What wine is available on your doorstep? Let's try it together. And that's what we do. In case you're not familiar with the concept, we basically get together on what is like a Zoom call on this platform, on StreamYard. But it's just like being on a Zoom call. You bring your wine, you taste your wine, you talk about your wine, and we have a bit of fun. And sometimes we have a lock-in as well thereafter, where it can get a bit messy and raucous too. Before that, at 7:30, that's when I'll be speaking to Hugh. Let's have a look at his Quinta now, shall we? Let's go over there and see what's going on. Also to come, 12 cities with the best quality and least quality of life, has to be said to. Thanks to Pam for sending that in to me. A bit of a musical sandwich. It was Ubi, wasn't it, yesterday, who introduced the idea of sandwiches, which I do not approve of whatsoever. It's a musical sandwich this morning. Bit of Oasis news to start the day, and we'll be finishing, because our Portuguese point of interest this week is Porto. We'll be taking a look at Porto with a video that I made to accompany Ron Rogers' tune, which I will play today as well, by way of a climax to the show. Okay, so let's go over to Quinta dos Tres Rios and show you that right now. As I say, we'll be returning there. And what I'm hoping is there'll be a few gumpers going along, and there'll be a bit of filming sometime soon as well. If you want to get a taste of that, come and chat with me and Hugh. I wonder if I push that button there. I wonder what. Woo! Music. And that is, well, you can actually stay there if you want to. Were you hearing music, or was I just hearing music on my own? Oh, thank goodness you can hear the music, or music as you put it there. Yeah, I guess it was a bit audio library-ish, but I think it conveyed Quinta dos Tres Rios very well. And as I say, we'll be talking to Hugh. Hugh and Jane run it. You can stay there near Viseu, which incidentally connects very nicely to the 12 cities with the best quality of life, which I'll be talking about in a little while. Oh, try the second one first. Oh, is that life advice? No, that's the jingles that have been sent through. Loving this. Thank you very much. Carl Hyde in touch too. Thank you, Carl Hyde, for your message that you've just sent through on 913 voicemail. That is you. 913-590-303. Getting a bit too giddy and ahead of myself here. Calm down. Like I said before, calma, tranquilo. It's Feelgood Friday. Let's take it easy. My friend is in Lisbon, says Nubinette, driving me crazy by posting pictures on Facebook. I'll see if he goes to my favorite spot in Lisbon. However, I might get jealous. Yeah, you recommend, don't you, to? I really enjoyed this. Go there. They send you pictures like, oh, I wish I was there. I was asleep, but Thursdays, the bar noises start ramping up. Oh, that's why you're with us. Okay, so certainly some Feel Good Friday vibes on a Thursday in California. The bar noises start ramping up and the people woke me up. An earplug fell out. So intense was the noise. That's amazing. Okay, on 913-590-303 came 2 new jingles, I'm hoping. So let's debut them now. And I'm being urged to press the second one first. And let's see what happens.
Call Carl now.
Yeah, I love that. Thank you very much.
Call Carl now.
Call me now, 91. Oh.
Call Carl now.
Yeah! I feel like I should be riding in a great big convertible that's bouncing about as we come in with smoke and lights. Fantastic. One more time.
Call Carl now.
Yes! 913-590-303. Love that. Thank you very much, gentlemen. That's superb. And look who that's brought to the yard. Raphael, how are you? Bon dia to you. What's new in your world? Put the link to your latest video, if you will. Why have we not had you on the show yet? If you want to give me a call, 913-590-303. Actually, let me just make sure we're connected. And if anyone wants to ring me this morning, please do that. But I just need to make sure the Bluetooth is working. Yes, you can call me as well. So, Raphael, if you feel up for it, if you've had your 7th coffee and you're ready to join me on the show this morning, give us a call. Tell us what you're up to and what's going on in the world of not your average globetrotter. Great to see you here this morning. Pete also in. Is this your first? No, I've got a few. I've got loads of jingles here. Do you want a little? Should we take the jingle board for an outing? I think it's the first jingle of that kind. That's for sure. But we've got plenty. You know, we got things like that, and we've also got.
Just stop it, you idiot!
You know, that kind of thing.
I want to watch the sunrise, but I'm laying in my bed. I think I'll change my mind and just watch GMP instead. Good morning, GMP.
Yes, see, Nibionet, we've got all sorts here. And of course, you know, we've got the ones that you hear every day, but I guess you're just used to them, aren't you? Such as, I'm trying to get to the first, I think in front of me, I've got about 24, on 3 different pages. And I have to use a touch screen to use it. What's this one?
Hooah!
Yeah, there's that one, of course. And, you know, and then there's a bit of Gumper Dust and a bit of, yes, you see, so we do have them. And that gives me a reflexive reaction there. When I hear that, I want to hear the dad joke that's gone before it. So along those lines, and as promised as a musical sandwich, check this out, if you will.
The wife said to me, "Should we get tickets to go and see Oasis?" I said, "Maybe." Mad for it.
Just in case you missed it.
The wife said to me, "Should we get tickets to go and see Oasis?" I said, "Maybe." Mad for it.
Thank you, Mad for it. Thanks to John Rooney. He posted that up on Facebook as a one-liner. And I thought, that's too good to just be there in words. Can you send me the recording? And he's such a sport, he did that. So John Rooney in Alcobaça, thank you very much for that. More, please, from you. Oh, and before we leave Vizier altogether, this is the sort of conversation I suspect I'll be having with Hugh on Monday when we talk to him about his vineyard. Here's some of the port that he's made there.
So could you say that again? We've got a sandwich, a Portonico sandwich.
Yeah, so we got port at the bottom.
Yeah.
We then put ice and lemon. Because these lemons have got no wax on, nothing to do with our friend on the other side who coats everything of the pond. So you've got ice, and then you put the tonic, and then you top it with another slurp of white port.
Glad to hear
so
it.
It's a sandwich. Please enjoy.
Thank you.
A port sandwich. How about that? Musical sandwiches, port sandwiches, and those sandwiches that Ubi was talking about yesterday. And when we speak to him on Monday, we'll find out what he was talking about with our friend on the other side of the pond who coats lemons. What? What are you talking about there, Hugh? We'll find out on Monday. And yes, we'll get full-length jingles. Who doesn't like a full-length jingle first thing in the morning? Thank you very much. I like what I've got so far.
Call Carl now.
913-590-303. Oh, yes. Really enjoying that. And you say there's more. Fantastic, Owen. Thank you so much. Much appreciated. Now, did I see Peter arriving? Yes, I did. Pete's famous tomatoes. They are famous in central Portugal. Let's have a look at them. Get ready to go, if you will, please, as we behold the mighty tomatoes of Peter Bleach, Solar Life Portugal. Here's the close-up of his tomatoes. Look at those. They're very yellow and I suspect quite sweet. They look very firm and plump. And here's the long shot. That's quite the harvest you've got there. That's amazing. And a few spuds there on the right-hand side. Nice one, Pete. What are you going to do with those? Are they going to get roasted? Are they going to be turned into a tomato sauce with a few meatballs? What are you going to do with those? That's a very fine crop. Well done. Looks like you'll be eating tomatoes for a little while yet. We have events to come in the Bairrada area. And I would like to conclude this week by rounding up what we've done in this first experiment of having a Portuguese point of interest, a car of the week, a property of the week, and a treat of the week. Let me know what you think about that. And propose further homes, cars, treats, and places for next week. I think we're okay for next week, but in future weeks, we'd love to hear from you about places, for example, the Portuguese point of interest, a place we don't talk about very much, and we can dedicate a whole week to it, dropping in and out of that particular place. So let us know. We're actually going to go to the Serra da Estrela area, and Filomena's been there. She sent me pictures, but I'm holding them for next week. She's been up there on the Rota, the Monsanto, the House of the Dragon, and I think, I don't know a lot about Game of Thrones. This is Game of Thrones, isn't it? But she has been up there at Relva and Monsanto and Castelo too, and I don't know I can't quite read Baluart, the other village that's there where Game of Thrones was filmed, I believe. I think that's what's going on here. And there's more pictures to come next week of this because we're featuring the Serra da Estrela area, national park, and we'll find out whether it is a national park or not. I'm struggling a little bit there to describe it correctly. I know it's a mountain range, but what else it is, we will discover next week. And thank you, Filomena, whose pictures I will hold for that purpose next week. Much appreciated, Filomena, and video too from the area. And I've got a few snaps and video clips myself from when we went up there when I was with the coach. And with Colin, of course, who is the selector of our car of the week. I think we've got a BMW next week. Staying with the picture deck and what you've sent in to me on 913-590-303. Paul is setting off for Portugal on this motorbike, and it's going to be a bit of a travelogue. There's his trusty steed right there. He's heading to Portugal on that. And the first picture to come in is a picture a few of us Brits will be familiar with. That's leaving Plymouth. If you did take the Plymouth to Santander route, that's the view you'll have had looking back towards Blighty from the ship as you finally leave and head towards the Iberian Peninsula. Remember that well. We've got our own fantastic photographs. So thank you, Paul. Very, very good of you to think of us and your journey over here coming to Portugal to have some fun here on your bike there, and you're going to send us a picture every now and then to plot the course of that journey. Excellent stuff, and much appreciated. Oh yeah, while we're delving around in the picture deck, it's always nice on a Friday to see what we posted up there or put up there and didn't use in the end. This was used yesterday as we left, but there was a comment over it which didn't give you the full glory of it. I think Mindful Migration James might like this. If you fear change, leave it here. That's a really great way of putting a tip jar, probably in a maybe a yoga studio or the cafe near the yoga studio. Very good. If you fear change, leave it here. The staff will be very grateful for that. The opening meme this morning was, I want a slow kind of life. And this is from Wander in These Words. I don't know what that is. I'm guessing it's a Facebook group that celebrates literature. I want a slow kind of life, a life in which we let down our guards, put down our phones, tell each other, unless you're watching the show on your phone at the moment, maybe you could do this later. I want a slow kind of life, a life in which we let down our guards, put down our phones, tell each other our dreams. Go on, 913-590-303. Watch sunsets and savor these moments kind of life. That's wonderful, which segues beautifully, as I was saying, our first Portuguese point of interest for this week, as we began with our new title sequence that will change every week to reflect that. There's a sunset for you. Thank you, Lonnie. This is a beautiful Porto sunset. So I was surprised when I searched Porto, and I love the search feature in Google Photos, because all sorts of things come up that I've forgotten about, and this wonderful adventure we've been having here in Portugal. I was surprised, however, about how few photographs I've got of Porto. When I first came to Portugal, I flew into Porto once and loved it, and had a very memorable coffee one morning off the plane into the city, and had a fabulous coffee with chantilly cream squirted onto the top of it in a part of Porto which I'll never be able to find again. I don't know where that was, but it was a very special memory. And there was a major football tournament on. I remember being struck by people watching football in the open air, drinking beer, behaving very nicely. It was so unlike UK. It was great. I haven't been to Porto that many times, but that was a memorable trip. I've been up there for the Anarco Portugal conference, and I've taken one or two photographs. I think that maybe they're on my Apple device and not Google, because the only two photographs I've got on Google are this church, looking up the steps at the Bonfim Church, I think, Bonfim, and a drain cover. Pretty random. Águas de Porto. If you've got any Porto photographs that you can send me today, preferably, because it's been Portuguese point of interest this week, send them in. 913-590-303. Lovely to see more pictures of Porto if you have them. And Lonnie's. I think this is the view he gets of the sunset every evening from his apartment, and that was a glorious one right there. And so thank you, Porto, for being such a beautiful place and a photogenic place. I don't think we've done you justice yet, but there's time to do that, and I'm sure we'll be back to revisit you at some time in the future. Right, those 12 cities with the best quality of life. I thank Pam for sending this in to me. Pam comes up with some great ideas for the show, so thank you very much, Pam, for thinking about us. And this is no exception to that. This is from a Portuguese publication, so let's take a look at it now. The name of the publication is... hold on a minute. I don't want to show you the 12 places straight away. And of course, when we look at a publication, you'll see some of the adverts that Google thinks I should see as well. Oh, Beniccar. It's because we've been talking about Beniccar, and we'll be featuring one of their cars on Monday. Peugeot 3008, the 3008. I'm so used to saying 206 or 308 that it's difficult to say 3008. Toyota Corolla as well, which we really enjoyed test driving not so long ago. But Beniccar, we'll talk more about them on Monday. Here are the 12 cities with the best quality of life in Portugal, according to Encultura. And this is written by Marcio Magalhães, results of a study carried out by Deco Proteste. And a beautiful photograph there of a place I don't recognize. I would have said Tamar at first glance, but I don't think it is. I don't think that is Tamar in that picture, and they're not telling us what it is. As we scroll down, it's a fairly typical introduction to such an article. This is probably how I'd have written it as well. If you want to change your place of residence, consider the cities with the best quality of life in our country. Says, what was her name? Marcio. And Marcio continues, does your city help you enjoy your daily life? Do you think it has a good quality of life? These questions do not have a simple answer. Defining quality of life is not easy. So let's go to the World Health Organization with Marcio. Must we? Okay. The concept of quality of life can be defined as the perception that an individual has about her position in life within the context of the cultural and value systems in which they probably as well, is inserted. What? And in relation to her goals, expectations, standards, and concerns. I think that just makes it more complicated, actually, Marcio. No disrespect, but quality of life is like, basically, do you like living where you live, right? Do you enjoy your life there? There are cities that provide better conditions. I got beef, haven't I? Trust the WHO for making something more complicated and wordy and weird. There are cities that provide better conditions for enjoying everyday life in the best way possible. There are those who have dedicated themselves to seeking out cities that ensure a more pleasant daily life. I think that would include a few of us here. Anyone who wants the best for themselves should look at this information. If you're looking to change your place of residence, consider the cities with the best quality of life. What a rubbish Google ad. Email 100% professional. No thanks. The 12 cities with the best quality of life in Portugal, then quality of life includes several aspects, particularly those related to health, as you might expect. Quality of life is associated with physical, functional, emotional, and mental well-being. We will be coming back to the God Squad tip of the day in just a moment. However, this concept is also related to other factors that are not directly related to health, such as friendships, family, work, and other things. And yes, I did say I'd tell you about Gilda's advice on residency cards. Don't let me forget that. According to a survey conducted by the renowned Deco Protest organization, there is much that can be said about the quality of life in Portuguese cities. 3,500 participants contributed to the survey by answering the questions asked, allowing some interesting conclusions to be drawn. Have I got my drum roll? Do I have a drum roll, in fact, for that matter? Let me just see if I do have. Yes, I do. I'm ready with it. Yes, we're ready with a drum roll for these top 12. I wonder why it's 12 and not 10. Anyway, conclusions. In general, residents of Viseu, there you go, back to Viseu, where Hugh and Quinta dos Três Rios is located. Leiria and Braga are the Portuguese city dwellers who are most satisfied with their place of residence. On the other hand, the most dissatisfied residents, the dissatisfied ones, are those who live in Évora, Lisbon, Porto, and Setúbal, which, of course, it's funny, isn't it? Because equally, I know of people in our community who would say they have the best quality of life in those four places. According to Deco Protest, 10 aspects were assessed among the variables considered in the survey. Those that have the greatest impact on the quality of life of people in these cities are factors such as cost of living, safety and crime, and cleanliness and waste management. The city of Viseu is above average in these three criteria. And there's a picture of Braga for you with a ruin right there. So I'm counting down then. Yeah, the least favoured was Évora, as mentioned, and Lisbon and Porto and Setúbal at number 9. And then there's Lighthouse. A bit of added value here with this survey. Which Portuguese town is Lighthouse? That would be Faro, of course, in case you didn't realise that. Faro translates as lighthouse. This is originally a Portuguese article, by the way, so that's why it's done that. Aveiro in the middle there. White Castle, the town of White Castle. That's a famous American beer as well, isn't it? White Castle, Castelo Branco, of course, at number 6. Counting down to Coimbra at 5. Viana do Castelo at 4. Braga at 3. Leiria at 2. Isn't that interesting? The doc singing the praises of Leiria only a couple of days ago. And at number 1, ladies and gentlemen, favorite place to live according to this particular survey. Yeah, I got jingles, Nubianet. Viseu. So there you go. Have you been to Viseu? And I think we need to make that a Portuguese place of interest. Perhaps, given this survey here, we'll do Serra da Estrela next week. And I use the phrase point of interest so that it can be an area as much as it might be a village or a town or a tourist attraction for that matter. So I'm just squirreling away that link right there. I'm sending that to myself. I even contact myself on 913-590-303. Oh, incoming also from Michael. Much appreciated. Porto photographs. You legend. You helped me out with the Francesina yesterday, which will be our treat of the week next week. So thank you very much for the head start on that. And yes, I will show these lovely pictures of Porto that you've just sent to me, Michael. Much appreciated. Bon fin de semana to you. You've had a busy time just recently, haven't you? And I do appreciate you being able to access these so rapidly for us. And another fabulous sunset in Porto. Which is obviously something people really enjoy up there. Yes, of course, the sunset DJ parties. So there you go. I don't think I need to tell you any more about that particular survey, but there you go. Visieux, a bit of a surprise to me. I don't know about you. And Visieux, number one in that top 12 cities with the best quality of life. Does that mean that all the rest are worse than number 12 in Evra, I wonder? I wonder how that survey's worked. That's the problem with statistics and surveys, is it not? But I think the best takeaway there is to stick Visieux on your list of places to visit. Right, Farmer Pete, greetings to you from Nubianet. And just this morning, that's the harvest. These will be out. Oh, so you're sun drying your tomatoes. Some people who do yoga like to get in a position and sun dry their tomatoes, don't they? Be careful, as I've said before, about using tomatoes here in Portugal. It does have other meanings. We'll be out on our drying racks by the time you finish the show. Nice one, Pete. So sun drying those bad boys, sun dried and then jarred in our own cold pressed extra virgin olive oil. That sounds fabulous. Absolutely. Yum. Says Nubianet there. And have you sent me? Oh, fantastic! You sent me Porto pictures as well, and another jingle. Hold on a minute. Let's press play on this.
Call Carl now.
Yes, fantastic. That's a remix of an earlier tune. Thank you very much. And Porto. Oh, thanks so much, everybody, for the Porto pics that are now coming in on 913-590-303. It does feel now like we have done Porto justice with these few extra pictures. And I'll get onto my Apple device and find those Porto pics that I took a long time ago as well. Apple, you're a rascal, you really are. Right, okay, let me just load those up so we can look at Michael and Owen's pictures from Porto this morning. Thank you very much. A little bit of trouble loading up some pictures this morning. A bit of a malfunction. Yes, whoa, you've got too many pictures. That'll be part of the problem here. Might have to try that again. Thank you very much for these. That's a Michael picture there. Michael Barton, thank you very much with that beautiful sunset in the distance there of the metropolis. That is Porto and the famous bridge, of course. Hey, hold on a minute. Did we actually do the timeout guide to Porto? We didn't go through that, did we? We could do that this morning. That was good. And I had that ready one of these mornings this week, but must have got distracted. I got distracted. So I might come back to that. Porto's, the timeout guide to Porto as well, to see how many of the particular places, some of which are featured in these photographs, you have been to. So the best Porto guide timeout, I will come back to that. Yeah, I'll see if I can find that, or if somebody else wants to send me a Porto guide that we can go through and look at Porto together, that would be awesome. That's one of Owen's there, as was the bridge before. That's a beautiful boat there. Is that what they used for moving wine and port up and down the Douro there in Porto? And that's one of Michael's as well. Thank you very much, Michael, for that one. And let me see if I can squeeze in a couple more. Oh, a lovely big heart. We like this motif, of course, don't we? Love Portugal. And we also have a fine building to share with you as well. What monument's that? That is one of yours, isn't it, Mike? So tell us what that is. Looks very similar to the Boadicea statue that's in London's, is it Marble Arch or Hyde Park Corner? Boadicea bashing the Romans in London. Look, it has a very similar feel to it, that one. It looks like a war memorial, however, on closer inspection. A lovely big heart on some steps there in Porto, and some Porto architecture as well. Looks like an amazing sort of government official building right there. Thank you very much. You saved me bacon with the Porto pictures there. Douglas has also squeezed in this morning. Make some room at the back, if you will, please, for Doug. Heading to Portugal via Santander in a 1989 Bentley 8 in October. So perhaps you'll be able to send us a similar picture to that sent by Paul. That's going to be your view then, Doug. And are you going to be driving around Portugal in a 1989 Bentley 8? Could you please come via San Martinho de Porto and take me and Colin for a ride in that? That'll be such a hoot, such fun. Please say you'll do that. Let's get a promise from Douglas on the air this morning. That would be awesome if you could do that. And I'm concerned I might have missed out on one of Owen's pictures here. It was 2 views of the bridge. This is the second one, which I'm going to share with you on the screen now. I believe this is the Luís Primeiro bridge. Am I right in thinking that? Can you help me out with that? The Luís Primeiro, Luís the First here in Portugal, and a bridge named in his honor there. This being the bridge, of course, the long shot there, and a bit more of a dramatic close-up there. And is that a train and road bridge as well? It's similarly as I'll be experiencing, actually. We're going to go to Lisbon tomorrow, and we'll be going across the 25 de Abril, which, of course, allows trains and cars to pass over it. Is it a similar situation? Is it multi-level, that bridge there? I don't remember from my visits there. Let us know more about the Luís Primeiro if you know something about that, and we'll add that to our resources about Porto in the Good Morning Portugal Club at gmpvip.com. White Castle apparently are horrible tiny burgers in New York. The only reason I know about White Castle or White Castle is because of the Beastie Boys. I'm pretty sure I was hearing them singing about White Castle. So burgers and not beer. Please, Doug, please come and see me and Colin in your Bentley 8. And a bit of busting out a bit of Portuguese there. Sessando dia. Vou tirar algumas fotografias. Tenham todos ótimo fim de semana. Nice one, Owen. Thank you very much indeed. Hit that like button, says Antonio F. Not sure if I've greeted you formally this morning. Thanks, Antonio, for being here. And well done, Doug. Just had the classic Bentley service. Did the oil and the filters plus new aircon regas. Who doesn't like a regas first thing in the morning? Also, new brake pads. A Bentley has 12. Really? Took me 4 hours to complete the job. I didn't know you did that sort of thing. And it's a well done, Doug, to you from Creative Roots Portugal, of course, a.k.a. Mama Bear M. McGowan. Bon dia, Alegria Gumpers. Good to see you here, T-Duck. Thank you for the jingles. I've had a little bit of a preview this morning. You have to map out the roads. Yes, that will not be... It won't be possible. Let me put it this way. It won't be possible to park the Bentley 8 in every single car park in Portugal. So you're right, Nubianet. Doug will have to be careful. Running late today, says T-Duck, just home from early errands. All done and dusted. Ready for the weekend. Fantastic. Viseu. Okay. Viseu. Okay, thank you very much for that pronunciation note there. See you Monday, James. Happy Friday. Have an awesome weekend, says M. Have you got any pearls of wisdom for us to share? A little bon mot or two for us, as well as your happy Friday. Have an awesome weekend there, M. Squire of the Shires also in. Hola, bon dia todos. Como vai isso? Good morning to you, Squire of the Shires. Good to see you here this morning. And Nubianet, just avoid villages and ignore SatNav. Yeah, that's the way to do it. Great to have so many of you here this morning. Thank you for being here. Much appreciated. Look, Algarve Laura, of course, as well, who was on the show. On the webinar last night. Algarve, Laura Puntin, you were saying you had an apartment in Algarve. You might like to mention that here as well this morning for anybody who wants to move to the Algarve. And we are thinking maybe of buying a classic next, taking quite a fancy to the VW Carmen Gear for driving around in Portugal. Sounds fantastic. And it's a bon dia, buongiorno from Algarve Laura as well. So thank you very much, all of you, for being here. And not multi-level, the Porto Bridge. The metro goes in the middle. Oh, in the middle bridge. Okay, so a separate bridge for the metro in Porto. Very good. Thank you very much indeed for that. Karen and Mike are heading to Lisbon tomorrow also to celebrate the birthday. Parabéns. When is your birthday, Michael? Wishing... We don't wish people happy birthdays in advance, do we, here in Portugal? So let us know when it is, and then we'll do our best to wish you a very happy birthday on the actual day. Okay, so we had our Portuguese treat of the week. That was the pastel donato. We had to start there, of course. Not many responses to canela, yes or no. If you don't sprinkle canela, cinnamon on your pastel donato, you might like to think again. It has many health benefits, and quite surprisingly so. It's a habit you might like to cultivate. So as you're feeling, excuse me, one moment. Perhaps too much talking last night and this week. Yeah, perhaps you might like to reconsider as you're thinking to yourself, a moment on the lips, a lifetime on the hips, with your pastel donato. You might want to attenuate that feeling of like, oh, it's a guilty pleasure with, no, I'm going to do myself a real health benefit here, and I'm going to cover it in cinnamon, and you'll get some good benefits from that. I'm guessing there are better and worse quality cinnamons around, and industrial cinnamon, the likes of which goes on a lot of pastel donatos, might not be the best quality cinnamon in the world. But if you do a takeaway, I imagine you can get some really good quality organic medical grade cinnamon. And why not have that on your pastel donatos when you're having them at home, if you have a bit of a parallel going on with that? Tomorrow, the 31st. Okay, so we'll wish you a happy birthday on Monday, if that's all right, so we don't break the Portuguese superstition. Nubianette, a new YouTube channel I started to watch. The American family is spending a couple of months in Sintra. It's interesting to see something other than the usual tourist sites. Yeah, and let's face it, there are a lot of Portugal-based YouTube channels and programs, shows now, aren't there? And yeah, I mean, we are spoilt for choice. And I'm actually thinking, is it now a D7 requirement that if you move to Portugal, you have to start a YouTube channel as well? Is that why there are so many? Because the government insists that you do that as part of your conditions for moving here? Maybe. No, right down the center of the one bridge. Oh, okay. So it is multi-level then, or multi-purpose. No natas for me, but yes to the cinnamon. It's great in a milky coffee. Okay, so fair enough. So no pastel donato, no treat of the week, Portuguese style pastel donato for you, Nubianette, but you will take the cinnamon. And I say yes from M on that. Oh, and as I recall, okay, that's we're relying on James's memory, which not being rude, but we might have to check. We might have to do a fact check on that, James, as we check out the Timeout Tourist Guide to Porto, because I would like to conclude this week with our Portuguese point of interest of Porto, with and doing it justice, and have a look. Okay, so the ultimate guide to things to do in Porto, according to Time Out, this is, who do a great job, don't they? Time Out Market, of course, both in Lisbon and in Porto. And they have an article here, which we'll have a look at in just a moment, the top 11 attractions in Porto. So let's see which of those you've been to. Multi-purpose, not multi-level. Okay, thank you very much. Okay, so the metro goes down the middle with cars either side. Got you now. Okay, and we may see a picture of that in just a moment. And I think it is Luís. Yes. I think that is the Luís the First Bridge. We should also find out about that as well. And I think this is what James wants to say to me right now.
Stop it, you idiot.
Okay, all right, sorry. I'll back right off on that. Okay, and yes, before we go and have a look around Porto and conclude on that this week, as well, with music from Ron Rogers featuring some lovely scenes from Porto, done in a moody style. It's my video. It's not the official video. It's like a slideshow that I've created to go with Ron's fabulous tune, which we'll play as we close the show this morning. I can't even remember what I was going to say now. Porto point of interest this week. I think we're going to do it justice anyway. In a moment, I do remember what I was going to say now. Gilda yesterday, we had a questioning on the Dream Team session. I think I maybe started a few too many conversational threads there and this morning. Anyway, what Gilda said was, before I interrupt myself again, was, and this was in response to a question, what happens if you lose your residency card? About moving around, what can you do? Because it's not easy to get a new one. And this was a question that came in last night on the Dream Team. A great service to anyone wanting to move to Portugal. You can ask Gilda, Nunu. You can ask other professionals. We've got Jeremy, who's joined us now. He's a mortgage advisor. So there's a new mortgage advisor in the business directory of Expats Portugal. And you can ask the whole team. Steve Flack was there from Spartan FX as well. You can ask them anything about moving to Portugal, absolutely free. And we'll put those questions live to them every Thursday night at 9. Now, the question came in, what happens if I've lost my residency card? I can't get an appointment to get a new one. And this is what Gilda said. She said, first thing to do with a residency card is to make a copy, a notarized copy of your residency card to make it an official backup document. And the other thing she said was that if you lose your residency card, you must report it to the police. That is part of the process of getting it replaced. You need a police report to say that you've lost your residency card. So a fantastic tip there from Gilda. And presumably other official Portuguese documents, get them copied and notarized so they're official, legally recognized copies at a notary in Portugal. And with the residency card, put that alongside your police report that says it's been duly noted that it has been lost or stolen or whatever. And with those two, you should be able to move in and out of the country and do all manner of other official jobs and errands that you won't be able to do if you have no copy of it at all. So I thought that was excellent advice, great value, good work, dream team, especially Gilda last night, who was very busy. In my opinion, fair enough. The timeout market in Lisbon is a noisy, expensive food court. Yes, point taken. If you go there when it's quiet, there are some interesting places to go, but they are generally taking advantage of the fact that it's packed with tourists. So the prices. What about the market? What about the old market next door? Has that got tourist premium on it as well, T-Duck? I wonder. I do like going to timeout market when it's not too busy. There are some interesting things in there. Yeah, but point taken. I think they haven't missed the opportunity to extract as much out of some of the tourists as is possible in that site there. Very interesting workspace above the timeout market as well. A co-working space. It's a fabulous spot and a wonderful part of Lisbon at Caixa de Sodré there, where you, of course, if you want to get away from the noise and the tourists, jump on a ferry. One of my favorite experiences to do in Lisbon, jump on a ferry and head over to Cacilhas on the other side and go and experience some authentic Portuguese neighborhood life on the other side there in Almada. I was not mandated by the residency process to start my channel. Okay, yeah. I think it's a requirement now though, James. And thanks, Carl. Yes, around mid-July 2027, I am considering renting my T1 apartment in Monte Choro, not Monte Gordo. What happened to Monte Gordo, James? Monte Choro, the high area of Albufeira, ocean view. Oh, this sounds good, doesn't it? Ocean view, completely renovated, and with a Miele for laundry, dryer, dishwasher machine. You've got the Miele Holy Trinity right there by the sound of it, Laura. So there's a T1 coming up in Albufeira, July of 2027. That's a little while away, it has to be said, but some people are working on those timescales. I will take a year traveling. That's nice. Okay, so make a note of that. If you're coming to Portugal, we want to live in Albufeira, in the Algarve, in the summer of 2027. Sounds nice. That should be interesting, especially for people considering a move to Nubia Net. And of course, it's a contract registered with Finanza. So that would work for a D7 visa, of course. Good morning to you, Mrs. M. How are you this morning? Excrement. Sorry? What?
Going to meet up with Sarah.
Okay, goodbye. Thank you. Is there any chance for a coffee before you go?
Maybe.
Oh, come on.
It's my mum's anniversary.
If you don't make me a coffee now, people will think you're a poor wife. There are thousands of people watching.
I don't give a crap.
She doesn't give a crap.
Talking
Everybody.
about good wives.
Yeah.
It's my mum and dad's 55th
Happy.
anniversary.
Talking of good wives, happy anniversary to Alan and Dee.
Yeah.
55.
55 years.
55 years, everybody. What's their secret? Tolerance,
I imagine so. Great patience.
giving way,
Maybe,
staying in lane.
maybe making a cup of tea.
And yeah, your mum always makes a cup of coffee whenever your dad asks, I've noticed.
Yeah, but
Decaf. Okay, don't worry then. my first visit very soon and avoiding the tourist traps. I think occasionally it's nice to get stuck in a tourist trap. You don't want to have that for your whole holiday, but some of those experiences are great. I was going to say unavoidable. They, of course, are avoidable, but some of them are nice, aren't they? Can we recommend tourist traps you do want to be stuck in and experience, please, this morning for Jackie? Staying in Coimbra, for example. I think you're going to be going to Coimbra, aren't you? And the land train. Looks like a tourist trap. Sounds like a tourist trap. It's great fun as well. It's a really good way of seeing the city. Just straight off the bat there. Staying in a little village close to where I want to live. I'm so excited, says Jackie there. And remember, that was bad, wasn't it? I think that emotional blackmail to get a coffee. I am ashamed of myself as I recall what I just did. Hi, Mrs. Louisa. And what? What's this? Good for Louisa. I don't give a crap about what other people think of me. Oh, you're supposed to be a people pleaser. Okay. Remember, the world is for you, not to you, not at you. You're not a victim, but a free man or woman. Stand in your own power. Here's a bon mot of the moment from M. Stand in your own power. I want to stand up. I want rousing music. I want this to be a Dead Poet Society moment. Don't get caught up in the world wide web of fear. Face everything and rise. Oh, hold on a minute. Wrong jingle. I was going to sprinkle you with Gumper dust there. Absolutely wonderful. I might have to preface Ron Rogers' tune with that. Thank you, Em. That's fabulous. And there are better markets, apparently, than Time Out Market, than the one at Time Out. But on weekends, there's a coin show there that's pretty cool. You see, lured into the tourist trap for one reason or another. Haha. Just thought if I lose my residency card, I'll show them my YouTube channel. Yes! Very good. And they're just there to experiment with international education while traveling. Who is this? I think I've missed out on a bit of context here. Their daughter. Oh, these are the friends who are visiting in Lisbon, right? Preschool summer program there. They'll be going to Vietnam next. Wow. What a life. Their kids are having an interesting childhood. Maybe not calling them traps would make them more attractive. Okay, let's say tourist experiences, shall we? And let's have a look at a few in Porto in just a moment. I'm bringing a few jars of British blackmail. Marmite. Yeah, that's right. You don't have to open your case and show those to the Lisbon customs because it's not like going to Russia with loads of Levi's jeans. They will, if you open your case with a load of jars of Marmite at Faro Airport, it'd be just like, next. They have seen that on curly whirlies, Cadbury's, baked beans, all that sort of stuff in there. They've seen it all before. Bon dia tosh, Jim, good morning to you and freedom as well this morning. Okay, I have to issue my warning that I open the show with. Calma, tranquilo. It is a Feelgood Friday. Let's take it easy. Just getting a bit too excited here. Jim, I'm glad you're here because you are one of the great gumpers of Porto, if I may call you that. And you might have something to add to the list of 11 best attractions for Porto as we conclude this week's Portuguese point of interest, which is Porto this week. We've looked at the Pastel de Nata, and now we're looking at Porto. The Pastel de Nata wasn't a point of interest. It was treat of the week. This is the point of interest. Let's take a look at these 11 attractions here. Are you planning a trip to Porto? Ask Time Out. These are the places you have to see. Now, for many people who don't like being told what to do, they'll make sure they don't go to these 11 places. But, you know, when you're writing an article like this, we, us journalists, actually, I shouldn't call myself a journalist. I'm a feature writer. I just express my opinion every week. So I'm not a journalist. Let me just state that for the record. But we writers, I guess, if I use that more broad term, can get a little hyperbolic. From who doesn't like to be a little hyperbolic first thing in the morning? Porto wine cellars, then let's get straight into it. Porto's sister city, Gaia, has beaches and those famous port wine cellars. They're gorgeous, with guided tours to teach you the history of the stuff and distinguishing features of each variety there. So you can try the port wine cellars. That's a great photo of Ferreira's port cellar right there. So that's one thing to check out. Who's done that? Let us know in the chat. The Foz de Douro, with a photo there by João Saramago, who sounds like a Bond villain. João Saramago. I thought I'd see you here, Mr. Bond. Foz is almost a mini city within Porto. In the 19th century, it was a seaside resort where Brits and well-heeled Porto residents went on holiday. Yeah, long-standing relationship between the Brits and the Portuguese, especially in Porto. So have you been to Foz de Douro there? Number 3, the Clarijos Tower. No, we didn't see that in our earlier photographs. That wasn't the memorial that Mike sent a picture of, was it? This is an ornate 75-meter bell tower, which watches lovingly over the city of Porto and arguably the city's most iconic silhouette. There's the Clarijos Tower. And number 4, the Livraria Lelo, of course, the Harry Potter type library. Supposed to have inspired J.K. Rowling, of course, who lived in Portugal once upon a time. So, yeah, that's a must visit, isn't it? And that is definitely a tourist experience. And you'll be jostling alongside other tourists. But I suspect worth seeing. These places are tourist attractions for a reason, of course. Porto Cathedral, known as the Zay Cathedral, the city's most important church. And I think it does feature in the video I'm about to show you. Built in the 12th and 13th centuries, it's a national as well as city monument there. Number 6, the São Bento train station, of course, with those fabulous azulejo tiles. Isn't that beautiful? Not been there. I was hoping that's where I would arrive when I went to Porto on my most recent visit, but no, I was at Campania instead, which is not as pretty as that, it has to be said. Very useful. Campania is a sort of multi-purpose hub for tourists, but it doesn't look as beautiful as that. It's fair to say. The Crystal Palace Gardens, of course. Another great attraction for tourists. When Googling this park, if you're faced with a bunch of fiberglass dinosaurs, then you're in the wrong Crystal Palace. Despite the lack of prehistoric models, these gardens are somewhat more exotic than what London has to offer. So there you go, with a great view over Porto as well. Number 8, the Marés swimming pool. That looks like fun. Can you make sandcastles by the edge of a natural saltwater swim? Yes, you can. The benefits of a saltwater swim are legion, but as even the most dedicated wild swimmer will know, covering a decent distance in the pool in the open ocean can be tricky, not to mention potentially dangerous. So there you go. You can swim in safety in saltwater at the Marés swimming pool. Number 8. 3 more to go as we head towards the weekend. Then it's a bon fin de semana from me to you. Fundação de Serralves there. The bucolic attraction. This bucolic attraction. Bucolic sounds like an insult, doesn't it? Or a put down. And in fact, it's quite the opposite, isn't it? It's beatific, natural splendor. Bucolic attraction is an absolute dream. A pink 1950s house stands proudly overlooking lush, beautifully manicured gardens with its bountiful flora, fountains, and modern art museum. And what looks like a massive spider. Not a place to go if you're an arachnophobe, I would say. And there are some nice best for and timeout top tips that go with this article. So I'll stick it in the chat for you as well, and over on the Good Morning Portugal Club too. So we've got this in our resources about Porto, our first Portuguese point of interest, a weekly one, and it will change to the Serra da Estrela next week. The Serra do Pilar is number 10. The Serra do Pilar is a jagged hill above the Douro River on the Gaia side. Needless to say, the view is spectacular. So there you go. And finally, the Ribeira Square. Luís, the first bridge, does not come up in this. However, I guess you can see it from here, from Ribeira Square. If you're in Porto, you absolutely, positively must visit Ribeira Square. This old city district located by the Douro is a UNESCO World Heritage Site. Yes, it's swarming with tourists, but don't let that put you off. Cross the river in a Rebelo boat. I think we saw a picture of one of those from Owen. Thanks, Owen. Go wobbly looking at the Luís first. There you go, at the Dom Maria second, and Arabida bridges. So there are 3 bridges in Porto. There you go. Luís Primero, Dona Maria the second, Segunda, and Arabida bridges. Great backgrounds for dramatic photographs. And there's a Bacalheiros wall, the Casa do Infante Museum nearby, and the Rua do Reboleira, Cubo Square, São Nicolau Church, and the Alminhas de Ponte as well to see nearby. That is a great article. Thank you very much. Going to pop the link to that. And I noticed the Casa de Musica is not mentioned there. That's also a place to go. That's what I said, Douro. I'm sure I said Douro. But thank you, as ever, for your pronunciation. Oh, sit up, Carl. I'm ever grateful for your pronunciation tips. And we're going to stay with Porto after we've read the last of your comments here, as we look at Ron Rogers' new tune with some Porto visuals in there, as well as some other visuals which reflect the content of his tune. It's a good one, and it's available. Oh my goodness, where is it available? I'll stick a link to where it's available. Bandcamp, that's where it's available. Okay, for those interested in the 25th of April in Porto, there will be a Don Quixote ballet of the Kiev Ballet Company. Very good. The Adega Wine Bar. Thank you very much, Jim. Adega Wine Bar. I loved it when I met you there, Jim, and we had that lovely lunch in Hotel It's Rua de Casino de Pont on the 111th floor. 111th floor. You're going to get a good view, aren't you? A beautiful view of the Bridging City. Mrs. Emma just brought me a coffee. How about that? Thank you very much. Have a nice day. Don't tell me what to do. Okay, sorry. Have a nice day if you want to. You're a free man. A newbie was referring to the Sintra family, I think. Oh, okay. They sound like they're having their best life here in Portugal at the moment. Oh, I've got to go. I'm about to have a massage, I think. James, yes, their YouTube channel is their family life that involves a lot of travel. I think they're 5 years old. 5-year-old has been to 20 countries. Wow. And I think YouTube recommended them to me, their Portugal trip. That's fantastic. Okay, not friends, but a new YouTube channel. And Carl, you missed my muito bem. Okay, so you give me an occasional compliment as well as all the corrections. Thank you very much for that nice balanced approach to your Portuguese tuition there. Have a great weekend, folks. I'm just going to bring up the past. No, I'm just going to bring up the Ron Rogers new tune with my own video. It's not his official video, but he's very graciously allowed me to use it. It doesn't entirely convey the subject matter to his satisfaction, but he's going to let me play it anyway, and we're going to work on another video together for this tune. Pink House, phew. I won't be the only one in Portugal who loves a bit of colour and a bit of exotic. See you soon, Jackie, I hope. Yeah, thank you, Ron. It's a great tune, and I hope I've done it justice and done Porto justice as well with some of the visuals that you're about to see here. If I can find it among all the content that's been created this week. Yeah, talking of content that's been created this week, don't forget we've got our GMP TV group, which is a Facebook group, and all the news headlines are up there. Anna's helping us out over there with that. So yeah, we are creating a lot of. Hold on a minute, Ron. Not ready for you just yet. Let's just take that to the beginning. Lots of content being created. So we do the live stream here on the Good Morning Portugal Show YouTube channel. And we have got GMP TV on YouTube as well for smaller chunks. If it's too much, watching an hour live stream every day, there are smaller highlights, news, views, and delights at GMP TV. Please subscribe to that as well. And it's the 11th floor, not the 111th. There aren't any 111-story buildings, are there, in Portugal? I don't think. Sorry about that. Bon fin semana. Cheers, T-Duck. I think you'll like this Ron Rogers tune. And hit that like button, folks, says Antonio, if you haven't done so already. And a nice wave goodbye and a bon fin semana. There you go, from Squire of the Shires. And just to clarify, the 11th floor, and it's the Vinci Ponte de Ferro, the 4-star hotel where you can get a great view of the city and a nice little cocktail by the sound of it. See y'all on Monday, says James. Take care. Take it away, Ron.
We're auditioning drum. Yeah, that's the deal. That's what you do. When I'm out of town, they're going to record a bunch of new songs without me on them. Here we got all else. Keep you on your toes. Yeah, Jim Huey, all these guys.
Those old-time revivals travel coast to coast, bringing the Father, the Son, and the Holy Ghost. In a big white tent, they put on quite a show. It's another place and time, don't you know? Now we got real-time religion, a brand new world kind of vision. You get Jesus in the house, you can click him with your mouse. It's that real-time religion. It's a new era, look and feel, broadcasting from a cathedral of glass and steel. There's a new web of sin, and the devil's always on the prowl. Secure your place in heaven, just click on your own PayPal. It's that real-time religion, a brand new world kind of vision. You get Jesus in the house, you can click him with
gonna bless you. God gonna make a way for you. God gonna heal your pockets, gonna heal your mind, your ideal. For God is in the blessing business, God in the healing business. And the whole fact about it, God is in all the business. And to you all that been attending my service, know what God has done. Let me straighten out a little few things. I said on yesterday to those that called me that, amen, receive the word blood. For the blood of Jesus will sustain. The blood of Jesus will do many things for you.
You can save it all on your favorites page. Those redemption dealers are all the rage. But there's no salvation for this age. All you get's a silver lining for your cage. And that real-time religion, they say it looks a lot better on television. You get Jesus in the house, you can click him with your mouse. It's that real-time religion.
New Orleans, Louisiana, and not only that, their children, to all those places that I have gone, God is working all through Mississippi, Arkansas, Pennsylvania, Maryland, New York City, and Michigan, and Florida. God is working miracles in folks' lives. Now down in New Orleans, amen, they got those old folks down, the people down there, they call them the two-head folks. But I went down there with one head, and amen, I told them, I said, I'm going to bury all these heads and going to bring you Jesus Christ. And I brought them Jesus Christ, and God moved in a mysterious way. All those people, all those folks thought they know something. Them canyons and hoodoos and all those kind of folk were knocking on my door, tearing it down, ringing my phone, calling me, telling me, prophet, I know that you're the real prophet. I want you to pray for me and bless me and give me some of your spirit.